Okay, so let's execute this line, and I'm going to step over, and you can see this variable is nice weather. Just got to assign the value false. See, it's false now, and so let's keep stepping. Now it's going to go back up to the conditional test, and it's going to check it again. Is nice weather is now false, right? So it's false. Both of these conditions have to be true in order for the whole thing to be true, right? So now that this variable holds a false value, now the whole thing is false. And here it's just going to short circuit. That's all it needs to know, right? There's no point in checking this conditional test, right? So, which in this case is true, but there's no point in checking it because this is false. Both of these have to be true in order for the whole thing to be true. So if this is false, then the whole thing is false. So now that this conditional test is false, now it's going to stop running, right? It executes this code while this conditional test is true, while it's true. As soon as it becomes false, it stops executing this code, what's in this code block. So let's keep running, let's keep stepping over, and we can see now it's out. It's stepped out of the while block, and it's over with. And we see this made it up to, in the console, in the output window, it made it up to 500, right? So let's keep stepping, and that's it. Okay, so let's take a look at demo 6, and you see that there's a little more code here, a lot more going on right here. And with this, the label 1, we've only looked at the text property of these labels, but the labels have a lot of different properties, right? And you can think of properties as a variable, right? It's a box, same principle, right? It's not a technical definition. Later we'll get a more technical definition of what a property is, but for now we just think of properties as a box, right? It's just like a variable. So same sort of thing. And the label has a bunch of properties, right? Or variables or boxes, right? One of those is back color. And so what do you think the back color is? And it's just the back color, right? And the forecolor is the font color. It's the color of the text, right? So we're going to play around with that. We're going to change this back color to blue, and you can use this color. It's actually a struct. If you have no idea what a struct is, don't worry about it. We'll get to that later. So you can just type in color, and this is formats. Just type in color, and note this is a class in the .NET framework, and we'll talk about the .NET framework later. This is color. So just dot. Remember the dot period is the access. That's how you access the members of this thing. We're accessing its members, right? And these are all properties here. You remember the little hand with the whatever that is, a little icon that symbolizes a property. The little purple box represents a method, right? Method just does something. So these are all properties. All of these different colors you can choose. Feel free to choose different colors. And what I choose is a bunch of colors here. So I just chose blue. So I'm going to change the background color of this label. I'm going to change it to blue, but I'm going to do it from the code. And so you can do it here, but here you can only do it one time, right? So you have to do it from off the rip, right? You have to do it from the beginning. But here you can access it. You can change it through the code, right? So, and that gives you more flexibility to change it if you need to change it, right? If you only want to change it one time, you can just do it here. But if you want to change it throughout the program or whatever, then you can change it within the code. So we're going to do this within the code. We're going to change the back color of that label. We're also going to change the font color, right? We're just going to change that to white because the background is going to be blue. So we want the font to stand out. And we're going to change the text itself. Again, with the text property, we're going to change that to this string, right? And then we got a Boolean variable, and we're just going to assign it true. So the name is keep looping, right? This is pretty descriptive variable name. Again, I'm trying to be descriptive with my variable names. I want to describe what the variable is about. You don't want to use a variable like XYZ, for example. That's a terrible name. It works, but it's a terrible name because you look at that, and what the heck does it mean, right? So you see keep looping, and it's pretty clear. So you want to use descriptive names for your variables. So I've assigned it the value true, so it has I've initialized it with true. So now we have our while condition. This time we're using an OR, logical OR operator. There's two pipes, two vertical lines, right? So only one of these conditions has to be true. Only one of them, right? Just one of these conditions has to be true. It doesn't matter which one, but just one of them has to be true. And initially both of them are true, right? So keep this loop count, which we set up top, right? This loop count is initially, we initialized it at 0, give it an initial value of 0. So it's going to start at 0. So 0 is indeed less than 1,000, right? So, and keep looping has a value true. So this is true and this is true. So both of these are true from the onset, right? And then now we're going to increment the two plus signs, incremental operators. We're going to increment that loop count like we've done before. And we're going to come back to this. We're going to look at this later. And now we have some an if statement and else if statement. Note that I don't have an else. I don't need an else here. So I just left that out. So the if condition, conditional test here is if loop count, when that equals 3978, right? When that equals that, then throw up this message box. We're going to do some concatenation here, right? We're going to convert that integer, that variable loop count holds an integer. We're going to convert that to a string as we've done before, and then we're going to reassign the text property on that label to this, right? And we're also going to change the color of the background, the background color of that label, right? And the else if is same thing, we're just a different number, right? So the rest of it's the same. We had a different string here. And same sort of thing here. The loop count, when that equals 9321, then execute what's in here. But note this last line, this last statement, reassigns keep looping with the false. So it drops a false in there, right? So it changes the value that's in this box, in this variable, to false, right? So this becomes false. Okay, so let's go ahead and run this one time, and then we'll come back and set breaking points. So I have this one label and one button, right? So let's go ahead and run it. Okay, I'm going to click the button. The code is in the button's click event, so I've got to click the button for the code to execute. So, okay, so count 3978, right? I changed the background color. Well, that's the initial background color is blue, and the font's white. So when I click this, it should execute the rest of the code. All right, so now the background's purple. Now it says, "Whoa, I'm getting dizzy." Alright, and so can you slow this loop down? We'll change the background color again, and I think I'm on a hurl, right? So let's go ahead and stop this. Okay, let's run it again, but this time let's do some breaking points. Let's set some breaking points here on the if statements, and let's go ahead and run it again. Okay, so now it's stopped here because now loop count. Now it's checking to see if loop count is equal to this, right? It's checking to see if it's equal to that, and it's not. It's false, right? So it keeps going and it checks this. That's false, and it keeps going and checks this, and that loop count is equal to 1, right? Loop count is 1, holds an integer value of 1. So of course it's not equal to those numbers, and it's just going to keep checking this condition, right? And loop count is still keep looping. This variable still holds a true value, and this is still true. Loop count is the integer in that box, right? And that variable is still less than 1,000. So this condition is both of these are true actually. Only one of them need to be true. So let's go ahead.